5 Ghanaian nationals are demanding the prosecution of 3 soldiers whom they say assaulted them over allegations they had stolen a laptop. Now, they have sued government at the Ecowas Court of Justice alleging human rights violation. They are boys who range between the ages of 13 to 16 years when the alleged violations occurred in June 2018. The mother of one of the boys is also part of this action, bringing the number of those behind this to 5. They say they were woken up from their sleep and picked up from their respective houses by some soldiers of the Ghana Armed Forces stationed at the Liberation Barracks in Sunyani. Their story was told in the Joy News documentary, As If We Weren't Human, tackling unsolved police and military brutalities. Listen to how they recounted the ordeal.
On June 24, 2018, 4 children in Sunyani were brutalized by the military for allegedly stealing a computer. The children said although they maintained their innocence, they were tortured to confess to a crime they did not commit.
I didn't know.
The Kayana, this a man count. No, modern jam to go. Other woman. The Kayana,
What do you feel?
30.
Kwesi, a name I altered to protect his identity, is emotional. Recollecting treatment meted out to him is painful.
A woman, a boy, Tima, a hono, meeting, a cassia. Woman near, you know, what they fear, woman, na, second, daddy, you know, what they fear, na, tig dear. Now, with a boy or medium meeting, or dear, you want my boom.
Ghana's Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice in December 2019 asked the 3 soldiers accused of brutalizing the 4 minors to pay compensation to the victims. The soldiers were also to face disciplinary action from the Ghana Armed Forces. Parents of the 4 boys say they have since received 10,000 each from the military. They however claimed that none of the soldiers responsible for this incident has been prosecuted. Now, Edmund Foley is the programs manager of the Institute for Human Rights and Development in Africa, and he joins us via Zoom. Mr. Foley, thank you for joining us here on Joy News Prime. Why have you taken this to the Ecowas Court when you have not explored the options here in Ghana?
Thank you very much. Good evening to you and all our listeners. Now, as citizens of Ecowas, we have the capacity as individuals as well as organizations to approach the Ecowas Court directly without having to go through our national court systems. And it's all part of the work towards strengthening the sub-region and strengthening the union among member states. And so we took the decision to approach the Ecowas Court, given that the court has jurisdiction or the authority to address issues of human rights violations occurring in member states. We've also gone to the court because, as you rightly said, yes, the boys have been paid some compensation. Yeah. But then under international human rights law, to the extent that the prosecution has not occurred, that the boys are still suffering from the trauma. And I personally was part of the team that subsequently interviewed them in preparation for this case, together with other colleagues from the Institute for Human Rights and Development in Africa. And the trauma is still continuing. The effects of, in our humble opinion, what they suffered as torture is still ongoing. And so until that is addressed, then they are still suffering those violations.
You're asking the court to order Ghana to prosecute the police officers. I'm wondering if you've checked with the AG's department, if this is before them, or even with the armed forces itself, if there are any such actions, intentions that are already underway but perhaps delaying.
As far as we are concerned, and of course, if any prosecutorial action would have been taken, the families and the boys themselves would have been the principal complainants. And so in our interactions with the families and the children concerned, no such step has been taken as far as they are aware against the military officers concerned.
The legal question, I guess, for many will be, does ECOWAS have, within its purview, the authority to, as it were, direct any such prosecution here in Ghana?
Well, the Ecowas Court will not be directing prosecution, as it were, but it would be issuing a judgment if we are successful, ordering the Republic of Ghana to take steps to ensure that the officers are prosecuted. The reason being that Ghana is the signatory to those international treaties, and we have, in our legal brief, alleged violations of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Convention Against Torture, and of course, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Ghana is a state party to all these instruments. The ECOWAS Court, in its previous rulings, has exercised authority over these documents. And more importantly, the officers are public officers, and that's what draws the Republic into the equation. And so by asking Ghana to take steps to remedy the wrong that has been committed by its public officers, then it would be living up to its treaty obligations.
But asking Ghana to take steps to initiate such prosecution would amount to exactly the orders of Shraj, which was to the military to ensure that they face disciplinary action. And so why not begin from home?
Rightly so. That to the extent that the orders of Shraj have not fully been complied with, the entry point for the ECOWAS Court and for us in human rights litigation is to establish that presently there is an ongoing violation since the boys have not fully received justice in the form of prosecution. And we have alleged, and made cogent arguments in our brief demonstrating how the failure on the part of the state to ensure that these orders are obeyed in and of itself constitutes a human rights violation.
Very well. Thank you very much. Edmund Foley is the Programs Manager of the Institute for Human Rights and Development in Africa.